Alright guys, today I'm going to give you the full rundown on the electrical alternator issue with the 2000 Chevy Camaro because I'm still having problems. I'm not sure what to do at this point or where to go. So I'm going to explain everything. We'll start from the beginning, what was going on with the car, and then I'll explain everything from there. So, symptoms. What symptoms were I having? Well, there were two separate things going on. I don't think they're related, but one was possibly affecting the other. So I had a P0446 code, a vent valve code, which is related with the emission system. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I had noticed that the light would randomly turn off. It did that twice, shortly before the car started having the alternator issues. It had shut off on its own. And on top of that, I heard a humming noise. I thought maybe that had to do with the emissions, but it seemed to be getting worse, and it was coming from the alternator area. So the following day, when I noticed it was real worse, I got out to the car. Lights were on and everything. I put the key in, went to start the car. Power died to it. Click, nothing. I don't think it was a starter because the lights and everything were off. There was no electricity after that. It just dead. So then it started up again later on in the day when I put the keys in. So I had suspected that I had a bad alternator. I did perform a multimeter test that day when the car was running. It was showing all the numbers were good, within the 13, 14 volt, 13.8, 14 volt range. I did a test on the battery. Battery's good. That battery is a year old, April of 2021. The drive belt was replaced by Pep Boys, documented through Carfax on October of 2021. So the drive belt was replaced. Took the alternator here on the left to not Pep Boys, AutoZone, and they put it basically on their machine. They run a belt up to it and they run it like on a trim. They said it passed. It was charging. Now I know you guys have said that just because they put it on their testing equipment doesn't mean it's 100%. So, had the alternator replaced. Now, one of you guys pointed this out and showed me that the belt was off on the tensioner. So this little pulley here, the belt was literally slowly sliding off to the pulley. So, with the new alternator on, what I did is I released the tension, I lined the belt up where it should be on the pulley, started the car, and the belt moved over to the end of the pulley. So, ended up replacing the belt tensioner. So, the tensioner is a Gates belt tensioner, and made sure to have the metal elbows put on there, the aluminum ones. Lubricated the O-rings with a little bit of oil, installed the tensioner and the new alternator, and the belt, when the car was running, did not want to slide off. It was staying on the belt tensioner where it should have been. If you guys have watched my previous videos, you'll see that. However, when driving the car with the new alternator here on the left, for some reason, it's not wanting to charge the battery. The new alternator is not wanting to charge the battery. I made a video yesterday, put it up to the multimeter with a load and without a load. It's pulling, 11 volts. It's not charging the battery at all. And the battery was at like 12.6, 12.7. But when we put the leads in, and we'll do that real quick, let me see if I can get these on here. I'll try and do this. This is going to be kind of hard with the... So right now, it's at 12.1 with both leads directly on the terminal. So I think it's draining the battery a little bit. But as I said, this is a new battery. I had it tested myself. It's 12.6. It was charging at 13, 14 volts before I put the new alternator in. And that seemed to be fine. They didn't seem to need to be charged. Now let's talk about the alternator, because this is what I think the problem might be. Could be one or two things. This alternator was given to me. It was sourced from eBay. Now I heard, and I want you guys' opinions, because I don't, I'm not 100%, but from what I've heard, it's not a good idea to get parts on eBay because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know who manufactured them. There's a lot of counterfeit stuff out there, but I don't even know what the name of this alternator is. There's a number on it somewhere on here. I don't even know where it is, but it came from a company called OE Global Parts. I don't know if anybody's heard of them or not. So yeah, here's a number on it. So OE Global Parts. So I don't know. I don't know if I need to just I have to get up with the person who sourced it to me, but I don't know if we just return it, and that would be the issue. But from what I heard, it's not a good idea to get parts on eBay just because you don't know where they're going to. Plus, it does go bad. Like if I get it at AutoZone, I can just swap it out. It's under warranty. Now, the only other thing that I do want to ask is, could it possibly be that the belt has stretched when that tensioner was letting the belt slip? Could that be a possibility? That humming noise went away when I was driving the car, and when I'm driving the vehicle, initially it's staying at 13 volts, but then when the car gets warm, you drive it for 45 minutes, there's no charge. It goes down to 10 volts, 11 volts when the car's operating temperature. So I'm just wondering, could it be a loose drive belt potentially? Could the tensioner cause that? I mean, it's staying on there. The belt's not slipping. So I don't know. And these are the battery terminals. I don't see any major corrosion. This is the connector here, the positive terminal to the alternator. And then here's the connector to the battery. There's no frays in the wiring or anything like that. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm thinking it's the alternator, an eBay alternator, or the loose slipping drive belt. But let me know what your guys' opinions are about eBay. I don't generally like to use them for auto parts, but that's just where I got this from. So if anybody can let me know, that'd be great. Do I replace the belt, or is it just an alternator issue? Because I took this one there to both O'Reilly's and AutoZone, and it passed. But like I said, when I drive it for a while, that's when it starts to not want to charge. It's not giving it charge. So I don't know what to do at this point. Any ideas, let me know.